It's a chance to inspire and be inspired to walk or run toward a common goal.
It's a chance to come together as one community for our mothers, sisters, and daughters, for our fathers, brothers, and sons.
It is a chance to make a difference for our generation and the next. Welcome to the 2022 Komen Northwest Ohio Race for the Cure.
And good morning. Welcome to downtown Toledo and our special coverage of the 29th Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. I'm Tim Miller along with my co-anchor Tiffany Tarpley. Tiffany, it's so great to be here this morning. There's a little bit of sprinkles out there, but we know that's not going to dampen the spirits of all of the survivors and their families here, all of the runners and walkers, and we can't wait for this to get started. The race is about an hour away from now.
Yeah, and not at all. We are not going to let it dampen our spirits. And let me tell you, the energy out here already, it is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of excitement happening here behind us. I think a lot of cheering, a lot of dancing, really a lot of energy here this morning.
And we have a great team built together this morning. We have several of our reporters and anchors out along the race field here. We have Jeff Smith, who is at the starting line. That'll be a busy place to be at 9:30 this morning. We also have Diane Phillips, who is out as well. Dan Cummins is over by Promenade Park, right along Summit Street. You'll hear from him with some of the first runners that come through. And our Madeline Watkins is near Fifth Third Field to get started this morning. So we have a great team ready to go here. And we're going to bring you the sights and sounds of this race and hear from all of the people who are involved.
Right, and we know how important this race is. We're talking about really honoring the survivors, right? Remembering those we've lost as well along the way. But also it's important because raising money for Northwest Ohio Susan G. Komen for the Cure, cancer research, and really helping these women and even men along their journeys.
Yeah, when you register for this race, it's the fee that you pay, as you do for any run that you're involved in, goes to help support not only those undergoing treatment, but the big thing is finding a cure. So we're excited to see what the next year brings with the money raised from today. We want to get out to our Jeff Smith now, and this is going to be a very busy place, Jeff, here just a little bit. You'll see those runners lining up soon there on Summit Street. How's it looking so far?
I've already got my spot here at the starting gate, in fact. Thank you so much, guys. Man, the excitement building, the warriors, the survivors, the champions of this event. You can see the smiles on their faces and the excitement. Just talking over the last few months with some of these folks who have endeared this event for so many years, and once again looking at the 29th race out here today, and they said this is a chance once again to reconnect, to tell those stories, to be a part of this family once again. So a lot of excitement building, and no, Tiffany, we're not going to let the rain dampen our spirits out here. In fact, some of the runners this morning are already telling me, they're like, no, these conditions, this is good, we're going to have a good time out here this morning. So yes, once again out here at the start of the race, and we are getting ready for everything to get underway. Survivors Village just off to my side here, but they are already having some introductions and some presentations going, and we'll check in with them in just a bit. Right now I'm going to check in with meteorologist Diane Phillips. She's also down here downtown with a report for us. Diane?
I am in Survivors Village this morning. So Hensville, it has a new name today. So Survivors Village is where you can find myself and a lot of survivors as we have the opening ceremonies going on right now. So you'll find a lot of folks here right now. They're watching videos and learning about people's stories. We're remembering those who have fought and beat breast cancer, and those who are here, families, friends, and there's so much going on here. Not only just the opening ceremonies, but we've been having the survivor breakfast. We've been talking with our friends. We've been sharing our stories. Also, you can go, and there's definitely a lot of bling. There's tutus here. Everyone has come out, and they are decked and ready to go for this race. Of course, there's still a lot of activities that are going on here. You can have your picture taken to remember the day. Of course, you can post it to social media, so you can spread the word and make sure that everybody knows that we are racing for here in Northwest Ohio. And of course, this is going to be a pretty popular spot for a lot of us. And of course, that race, though, is going to be coming up here in a little bit. Speaking of that, let's turn it over to Dan Cummins, who has an eye on what's going on in Promenade Park. Dan?
Well, things are really quiet right here. This is about, a block and a half from the starting line. A moment ago, a runner was like running around here warming up and had actually asked us, you know where the starting line is? Yeah, right down there with the big pink sign that says start. But it's funny because right now, this is a real quiet area, but when the race starts at 9:30 in about 50 minutes, this is going to be a great place. We'll be giving you the money shot because you're going to have thousands of runners peeling right through here. And because coming from the boulevard right here, they're splitting off and going around us. And Gina on the camera will be getting some great shots, all the runners going by. But the best stuff is when the walkers come through because they're wearing some wonderful costumes. Come on over here, guys. Indulge me for a moment. Jim Donaldson, I've known for years and years. Jim is doing some work in the race today. Jim from the Sylvania Triathlon for many years.
Yeah. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello, Brian Koenig.
Brian Koenig. These guys, okay, you are working along here, but we've got also, in addition to the run today, we got the walk. So what do you guys do on here?
This is the 1 mile survivor walk. And they're going to go down, walk along the river, and then come to the finish line. And they're just the survivors that been for 20 years, 10 years, and they'll all do the 1 mile walk.
And this means as much to them now as it did 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll be greeted at the finish line by Bob Wambolt that talks to them all. I've been doing that for years, so it's a great event.
Well, guys, it's always sunny at the Race of the Cure. It's always warm and sunny at the Race of the Cure. We'll be back later on from a great spot here on Summit Street. Let's go to Madeline Watkins at Fifth Third.
Thank you, Dan. So yeah, we are just outside of Fifth Third Field. This is where registration and packet pickup is, and you can see it is definitely picking up here. There is just people wearing pink. I mean, they're all dolled up in the color, just showing their support. I've seen several just groups coming up, getting their packets for registration, and you can see that there's large groups. They're all kind of coming together to do this. Everyone's just excited. I mean, we've been saying it all morning. The environment and atmosphere here is just insane. People are coming together, seeing some familiar faces they haven't seen in a long time, because this race actually brings so many people together. I mean, you can see that people are taking pictures. Everyone's just excited to be here. So if you're not down here yet, I would recommend coming down here. I mean, the race doesn't kick off until 9:30, but there's so much going on along this entire street. There are tents all the way down it. Everyone's just having a good time, so definitely make your way out here. Tim and Tiffany.
Well, Maddie, I have to say I love the bow in your hair, and it's absolutely great to see so many people down here. It's really, I think, inspiring, you know, being here, and watching the race for sure.
It really is a celebration. I mean, this is a day that a lot of these families and survivors look forward to and look ahead to the future. So we want everyone to have fun out here this morning as well. Our live coverage of the 29th Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure continues from downtown Toledo. Please don't go anywhere. We're about 40 minutes till the race begins.
Welcome back. Our live coverage of the Race for the Cure continues here on WTOL 11. My name's Jeff Smith. Glad to see you once again this morning. We are down here at the start line, and I want to introduce you to somebody who has been bouncing around the Midwest region for the last couple of weeks. Barb Ducharme, she is joining me now, Regional Vice President with Susan G. Komen. Barb, it's such a pleasure to meet you, but I do have to ask, as we were talking here before we came out today, you were telling me about, you were hearing some of these survivor stories that are being said this morning. That gets played out again and again and again. How do you kind of filter all of that through this?
You know, it does get played out over and over, but what you always have to remember is that there's so many stories of hope as well. So yes, we have lost people to breast cancer, and it's very hard, but we all know at Susan G. Komen that there are people alive today who are living better lives because of the work we do day in, day out. So it's hard to sometimes hear the stories. I was telling you earlier that we had a story of a gentleman who is volunteering here today whose wife of 45 years died last year. And so that is hard to hear, but we also have... But
there was something else about that story. You said about his donation.
He gave a donation of $100 for every year they were married. And so it was important to him to give back. It is important for us to honor these people who give back. But it's also really important for us to keep fighting, because we don't want stories like that. We want people to be able to live, as I said, healthier lives and longer lives. So I would say it's like everything in life, it's a mixed blessing, but knowing that we are helping people every day is really important to us and keeps us going.
You've got many hats that you have to wear. You said you get about 150 emails a day as far as the business side of things is concerned, but from the human side of things, and that is what today is really about.
It is, and I will tell you, it's very energizing for us to even just be with people who are living this disease every day. You know, we all get back to our offices and have 150 emails and texts and all, but these are the kinds of things that energize us, that we can come out and be among people who are thanking us, who don't even know us, but thanking us for what we do. That's pretty powerful.
I got to ask you one more thing before we go over to Madeline Watkins, who is over by Fifth Third Field. Ask you really quick, because one of the things that I think Gretchen Awad has kind of hung her hat on is the fact that this race is happening today. And we were very lucky. She said fingers crossed that this was going to happen, because there are some races around the country that didn't come back.
Well, some did not, but I would say in this next September, October, we have about 40 of them across the country. And I think we have about 15 in the Midwest. So I'm like a little pinball bouncing around. But we've
It's a
recovered.
good sign for the commitment as far as the Toledo region.
Yes,
Yeah?
oh, absolutely. And Gretchen does just a fantastic job, and so proud of her, because she has really, the volunteers we have, I will tell you, Toledo, we have a better, stronger group of volunteers here than I have seen across the Midwest so far this year.
That's a testament to all the hard work that they've done here. Barb, pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate having you as a partner. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. We enjoy it, and for obviously 29 years strong for this race here today. So, Barb, keep it.
Next year it's the 30th.
That's right, that's right. Keep it going. Hey, we're going to check in with Madeline Watkins. She is live right now outside of Fifth Third Field.
Thank you, Jeff. So we all know that Race for the Cure is kind of the official kickoff to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That's October. And I'm actually joined by a survivor right now who says early detection, the awareness is really what saved your life. You're 9 years in remission. Yes. Talk to me about it.
I have a mammogram every year, and 9 years ago, it was detected to be stage 1 breast cancer, and I had 2 surgeries and had a third of the left breast removed, and 9 years in remission. I feel great now.
So what's it like seeing everyone come together today? I mean, we all have the same goal. What's it like for you?
It's a bittersweet situation, because you see those that are walking in memory of someone, and that's the bitter part. But the sweet part is to see all the survivors who come together.
Like yourself?
Like myself.
Yeah. Is there anything that you kind of just want today to do? Bring people together? What do you want today to really mean to people?
I want all the women and men to understand that if you feel something, don't ignore it, check it out, because you never know what it could be. Early detection is the cure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Wanda. It was a pleasure meeting you. We're going to go ahead and toss it back now to Tim and Tiffany.
Thank you.
All right, Madeline, thank you so much. It is so important to hear these stories from the survivors, because it helps other women. It reminds you to get those checks, right? We all need to make sure that we check our bodies. And, you know, it's something that a lot of women tend to avoid, right? The mammogram, it can be uncomfortable. It can hurt. It can feel that way sometimes. And it's just hard to schedule, too.
Right, especially with the pandemic. A lot of people canceled doctor's appointments, so they don't feel comfortable going back into the doctor's office. But we found a way that's really catching on, where you don't have to go into an office. You can just take a few steps right out of your car. It's 40 feet long and 32,000 pounds. But this isn't a typical luxury RV. It's full of life-saving, state-of-the-art equipment that's getting noticed by a lot of people, especially women.
Today we're in Swanton, so for women living in this area, the closest women's center is about 35 minutes away. So if we're making it 5-10 minutes away from their home, right outside of their doctor's office, how nice is that?
It's the Mercy 3D mobile mammography unit, and it could be coming to a parking lot near you. Fully funded by the Mercy Health Foundation, it has become a crucial tool in the fight against breast cancer. The goal? Make it as easy as possible for a woman to get screened for breast cancer with a mammogram.
It really helps to eliminate several barriers that women may face if transportation is a barrier for a woman. We're traveling to several locations throughout Northwest Ohio.
Do you have to drive this van?
I do.
What's that like?
A lot of responsibility, a lot of checking your mirrors, but overall, I would say not too bad.
You can make an appointment for a mobile mammography by calling 833-MAM-VAN. That's 833-626-6826. You pull up into the parking lot, walk in, and they get you registered in the front of the van. You then go to the private dressing room to change. You'll field a few questions about breast health and family history, and then to the exam room.
It's typically just 4 views, 2 for each side. I would say it usually takes about 10 minutes or so. The exam then...
That's it, 10 minutes.
...is really quick.
Then you're done. If you're signed up for MyChart, you could get the results by later that day, and you never have to step foot in a doctor's office. This mobile mammography van is already making a big difference. They started screenings in February of 2021, and that year, 553 women were screened. But already in 2022, 608 women have come in.
More employers are bringing us on site, doctors' offices are bringing us on site. Of course, we participate in various community events, including health fairs.
But there could be big questions women have. Am I getting a less effective mammogram in this van instead of in a regular office? Is it not advanced enough to detect breast cancer? Nothing to worry about here.
It's the same thing of digital 3D screening mammography. It's the same thing that we have in all of our other sites and whatnot. And it's actually looked at by our same radiologists that we have on site at St. Charles, St. Anne's, all throughout the Mercy system.
Getting screened likely won't cost you out of pocket since most insurance plans consider mammograms to be preventative wellness, but check with your insurance carrier. For even more convenience, the mobile MAM van will be on site at the Race for the Cure on September 25th in downtown Toledo near the Survivors tent.
I mean, how many women from Toledo are going to be in the same spot at one time? So I hope that people come out and stop by.
You can take a tour and, if you want, schedule your mobile mammography. If you're not at the race, here's that number again, 833-MAM-VAN. This is such a great tool for people to use, and the big point I wanted to make clear there was if you use the mobile MAM van, you're not getting a less effective form of technology. It is the same as you would get in the doctor's office. They would never put you in a position where it might not be able to see as much. So forget about that part of it. You are going to be just fine, and give them a call. They'll get it set up, or stop by here at the race and at least take a tour of it, see what it's like. As you mentioned, it can be uncomfortable. I don't know that, but you know, as a woman, you know that it can be difficult, right? So
it can be
it gives you a sense of what it's like.
It can be uncomfortable, but we know how important it is, right? You have
Crucial.
to do it. Yeah, it's very crucial, and it depends on the woman. You know, I know some women who say, you know, they don't feel anything. They feel just fine. So it really just depends. But it's so important. You know, you talk about that appointment. It's always so hard to get, hard to schedule.
I have to do this, yeah.
And it's great to see that this makes things just so much easier.
Right. And they literally will come to where you live. Like we met them in Swanton. If you lived in Swanton, you wouldn't have to go very far. So it was great way to do it.
Well, that is so awesome. And we don't have to go very far to get out to our Dan Cummins. He joins us on Summit Street near Promenade Park. Dan, how are things going out there?
Well, you know, we're still a few minutes away from the race, but we're starting to get some people walking toward the starting line. Now, you know, there's a race and there's also a walk, and you need people to kind of control the crowd and tell them where to go. And this group of volunteers agreed to talk to me here. What organization is this?
The University of Toledo Upward Bound and Upward Bound Math Science Programs.
And what's your name?
Alicia Durham.
Alicia is a friend of mine. She now a new friend. We're talking Ohio State and Michigan already, and we got a little ways to go to the game, don't we?
Yes.
And okay, and these are some of your students involved in the program. These are high school kids who are learning toward their college education.
Yeah, we're preparing them for college and the college life while they're in high school. So they're taking classes. We're giving them experiences for the 4 years that they're in high school. So
who's this is your first time at the Race to the Cure? Are you guys all been here before? You've not been here before? No. You've been here before? Yeah. What do you tell these guys about what this event is like for everybody that's involved in this? This is pretty cool.
I would say it's really fun, just being active and participating in something like this that goes to a good cause. A lot of people have coming for different reasons to have fun, but it's mainly all for the most important part, which is breast cancer. But it's a really good thing to get involved in.
What's your name?
Eduardo Adams.
Thanks so much. So this is a group, they'll be standing by the walkers and tell them to go down the hill here at Promenade Park, and they do a loop around by the river, and I'll come on back. This is for the survivors also. There's a fun walk as well. So we're counting down the time here to start of the 29th Race for the Cure. We'll be right back on our coverage live on WTO 11 after this.